This man has come all the way from Chicago to a small Mexican village in 1970. His name's Rogan, and he's just ordered a drink from the bartender. The bartender asks him why he's here in the village, all the way from Chicago. And he says, "I'm looking for a miracle." And here she is, right on cue. An attractive and posh looking young lady walks into the bar, looks a little bit taken aback, and then sits down elegantly, but with concern. She didn't expect to see Rogan here. This was the last thing Margaret expected. With self-confidence and charm, Rogan approaches the lady and asks her if she doesn't mind if he joins her. He's doing it in an assertive way, but relaxed, so that she doesn't have any choice. Therefore, she accepts that it would be okay for him to join her. "Amigo," he calls the barman. "What would you like?" Margaret, he knows who she is. "A margarita," she says. "Margarita for the young lady, amigo." And he sits down and begins to chat with the lady. And she says, "Why are you here in this small village?" He says, "I've come from Chicago and I fancy myself as a writer." And she says, "Oh?" He says, "Yeah, I make up stories. Do you want to hear a story?" Reluctantly, she agrees. So he sits down. He says, "So here's the story. There was this man who, about a year ago, was driving along in his car in Chicago, and a big lorry skidded on the street and it right into the side of his car. It was a rather nasty accident, and he was taken to the hospital, but turned out he was just battered and bruised. So this is Rogan telling Margaret the story. This man who was battered and bruised says, Rogan, was your husband Malcolm? Oh. She says, I don't like this story. I'm going to leave. And he says, no, I haven't finished my story. I won't keep you long. I'm nearly there. So your husband was in hospital and he was bruised, but there was nothing wrong with him. He was x-rayed and examined from tip to toe, and they couldn't find anything broken, nothing wrong with him. However, Malcolm was a schemer and thinker, says Rogan, and Malcolm declared himself to be paralysed. He said he couldn't move, and therefore he decided to sue the transport company. It was unlikely he was going to win a claim against a cold-hearted corporate. However, Malcolm was a good actor, and each day when he went to court, Malcolm was taken in on a stretcher. Poor Malcolm. And after the court case proceeded and the jury looked at this poor paralysed guy each day, it was heartbreaking. So they voted in favour of him getting compensation for his life being ruined. So Malcolm picked up $500,000 compensation. Then he and his missus disappeared off the scene, and turned up in a Mexican village. The reason why they're there is because in this village is a shrine, and people come from all over the world in cars, on crutches, in aeroplanes, crawling, in order to visit the shrine on top of the hill and be cured of their suffering. And Malcolm is there too, but he's not suffering, he's just pretending. But each day Malcolm is taken up the hill on his stretcher, and everybody watches, and when he gets to the top, another miracle happens. He leaps out of the stretcher, completely cured, and runs down the hill in joy, celebrating. And then all the people who visit there hand over their life savings to his friend, the local priest, and they want to be part of the next miracle. So Malcolm is in league with the local religious figure, and they make thousands of pounds every month, thousands of dollars, using this scheme of deception, where Malcolm pretends to be crippled, paralysed, and then there's a miracle cure, very convincing, and then they hand over everything they have to the fund, the trust fund, which he promises will be, the money will be used for research into all the ailments that people are suffering from. It's a research fund. So Rogan here is an insurance inspector for the corporate, and he's been pursuing this couple, Margaret and Malcolm, and now he's found out where they are, and he's been tackling Margaret here, but she's having none of it. She says, none of what you're saying is true. You're making it all up.